Have you ever asked yourself the question, why does God allow suffering? If there's any question I've been asked 100 times, it's this one. And so today's video is all about this question, why does God allow suffering? Let's get started. Hi guys, my name is Justin and I want to welcome you to That Christian Vlogger, a place where you get to come and join me and experience faith in the first person. If you're new to this channel, I post weekly videos with a purpose. I believe in creating an online space where you can come and grow in grace. In each video, my goal is to share with you a nugget or lesson that God has been teaching me, or to answer a question that viewers like you have asked. Today, I'm trying to tackle the question, why does God allow suffering? Sometime in our life, we all experience suffering. And with that suffering, we generally have other questions that come along with it. Questions like, God, where are you, and why did you allow this to happen to me? If at any point you'd like to reference some of the points that I'm making with scripture, be sure to check in the box below. Also, I would highly recommend this book, The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis, for more information. Now, the most accurate answer to the question, why does God allow suffering, is I don't know. Since I'm not God, it would be impossible for me to specify why God allowed a certain circumstance to actually take place. But with that disclaimer, I want to share with you three principles that have helped me tremendously. Today, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I believe God allows suffering. In my personal experience, I usually find that God allows me to go through certain circumstances for some combination of these 3 reasons. Why does God allow suffering? Reason number 1, sin and Satan. In Matthew, Jesus talks about a parable about a man that goes forward to sow seed into a field. Many times, Jesus refers to the seed that the farmer sows as good seed. When the good seed bears fruit, it's clear that something is wrong because these massive, ugly weeds also spring up. But when asked by his other workers where these weeds come from, the farmer simply responded, "An enemy has done this." This parable speaks a very important truth about why does God allow suffering. In this parable, the farmer doesn't take ownership for any of the weeds at all. In fact, he recognizes that there's another party to blame. As Christians, we understand that there's this larger battle that takes place right beyond our eyesight, a cosmic conflict, a great controversy between good and evil. As Jesus describes the seed that the farmer sows as good seed, we hear echoes from Genesis when God created the world to be good, even very good. You see, the truth is, according to the Bible, God only creates the good things in this world. Isn't it amazing how in our suffering, the first question we always ask is, why, God, why? Somehow Satan has successfully gotten us to cast the blame on God for all the suffering that we experience in this world as though it was somehow his fault. Newsflash, that's a lie. Why is there suffering in the world? First and foremost, due to the existence of sin and Satan. But the good news according to scripture is that this suffering is momentarily, and in a short while God will eradicate sin and suffering from the world once and for all. Why does God allow suffering? Reason number 2, to strengthen you. Sometimes God allows us to suffer because it actually makes us stronger. I'm not saying that I actually like this reason, but as I look back on some of my life experiences, I can see how this is true for some of those circumstances. One way that I interpret suffering is that God is actually trying to build my spiritual muscles. Any of you who have ever worked out know that pain that exists after a hard leg day. You're trying to roll out of bed and it feels like a gorilla has jumped on your back. And as you're walking down the street, you either look like you're walking on a boat or you're flat out drunk. You see, in order for muscles to be built, you must first tear your existing muscle fibers. And it's this painful process of working out and the resulting soreness that actually helps you to grow and to become stronger physically. The same is true for our spiritual muscles. Many times our characters can only be built or grown through difficult moments. Sometimes for me, it helps to reinterpret the suffering that I experience in a workplace or in my relationships as an opportunity for growth and for learning. Why does God allow suffering? Reason number 3, for the salvation of yourself and those around you. If any of us have suffered, Jesus has suffered the most. But have you ever asked this question about him? In the life of Jesus, why does God allow suffering? Why the humiliation and pain of the cross? Why the agony of separation from his loved ones? Sometimes I believe the lie that the reason why I'm experiencing suffering is because I'm not close enough to God. Perhaps I didn't pray enough, or I didn't read my Bible enough, or I didn't go to church enough. But think about this for a second. Jesus' relationship with God was absolutely perfect. And yet, even Jesus suffered. Isaiah actually describes Jesus' suffering and shows us how this suffering ultimately leads to our salvation. Now, I'm not saying that you're Jesus, but have you ever wondered how your suffering could actually lead and be a witness to other people? Instead of asking yourself, why does God allow suffering to happen to me? Ask yourself this question instead. How could this moment be used for God's glory? The most powerful testimonies we ever hear in church usually have this really great challenge to start with. Some heart-wrenching experience of pain and even sadness. And the reason why these testimonies speak to us is because somewhere in them we sense hope for our current situation. Sometimes God allows us to experience suffering so that we could later share our testimony of how God helped us to overcome, specifically to those who don't quite have that hope. You see, you and I both know that as long as God is by our side, we can make it through anything. No suffering or trial is too great as long as God is holding true to his promise that he will never leave us or forsake us. Now try putting yourself in the shoes of someone who actually doesn't have that reassurance. Someone who doesn't know that God is right there beside them in the middle of their most difficult life crisis. So why does God allow suffering? Perhaps to give you an experience that you can later use to be able to share with others who don't have that reassurance that God is with them. Well, that's it for today's episode. I know that this isn't even close to a comprehensive answer to why does God allow suffering, but I hope this video will provide for you at least a few nuggets that will bless you. But let me ask you, what about you? What do you think your answer is to why does God allow suffering? Let us know in the comment section below. If this video was a blessing to you, connect with me over at Twitter or Instagram, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below for more videos like this in the future. Until next time, I'm that Christian vlogger, and I want to encourage you to experience faith in the first person. God bless.